The last interview I did with him, I was asking him things all over his career. Like, I can't believe the answer he gave me about his heel turn, which ended up kind of being the heel turn that we ended up seeing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
what?
Like, this is a scoop. Like,
Yeah,
this
like,
is crazy.
Tell me more, John Cena. The live shows are a completely different thing because when you're doing an interview like this, it's just me and you, right? The live show is about like, how are we presenting it now for everybody else? The first interview that I did with him, I got him backstage at Monday Night Raw. I was there because his upcoming match at WrestleMania 28 with John Cena was around the corner. Now, fast forward all these years, I saw him at the Smashing Machine, the after party, and he was like, hey Chris, how are your kids? I'm like, what?
Who would you say is on your Mount Rushmore of interviews?
Oh, who I've had.
Tough, I know.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.
Guys, R3 Jonah here at the big event in New York with the voice of wrestling interviews, CVV, Chris Van Vliet. How you doing?
That's a great description. Wow, I don't know if that's true, but
It is.
Thank you.
100% the truth because you're sitting on this end of the table during this event.
Well, you are too. You're also sitting on this side of the table.
He's right. He's quick. He's
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
How many people have been able to say hi today? How many wrestlers have you been able to connect with?
Just a few. It's been, I mean, this is so busy here. This card is stacked, right? Like Sting is here, Goldberg's here. Just the people we can like just see from where we're sitting here right now. Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, Nick Nemeth. We had James Ellsworth and Heath right there. Mike Chioda's next to us.
It's a great corner over here.
Wrestling's the best.
It is, and everyone coming together. It's so cool to see like the interactions. Mark Henry in great Muda. I saw it a couple like
Mark
big
Henry's
events back.
here?
Not here, but a couple ones
okay,
back. Like
okay.
he was able to connect with Muda, and like you just have these big moments. That it's so cool to see as fans. So it's no secret, Chris, you have elevated your game with Insight. You're doing these live shows since the last time we talked.
Yeah,
How does that dynamic change with the interview from going from doing them on Zoom, then one-on-one in the studio, but now with an actual audience? Like, what is that like?
So there's three different progressions there you're talking about. I was never a fan of doing virtual interviews. In fact, I hadn't really done any before the world shut down in 2020. So I remember sending out a tweet March 2020 and being like, I've never done a virtual interview, what do you guys recommend? And it was like StreamYard, Riverside, good old fashioned Zoom. So like, while it's great to be able to click a button and talk to someone on the other side of the country or the other side of the planet, nothing beats being able to sit down, touch someone, shake their hand, look them in the eye. So I love that component of it. The live shows are a completely different thing because when you're doing an interview like this, it's just me and you, right?
Yeah.
It's just about like what we have right here. It's almost like going out for a beer with somebody.
Yeah.
The live show is about like, how are we presenting it now for everybody else? So like in the live shows, I'm looking for what's a funny moment? What's a story maybe I've heard before, but the audience maybe hasn't heard that would really pop the crowd. So like with the live shows, I'm always thinking about what's the greatest experience for these people who came and paid their hard-earned money for that.
Yeah.
With the one-on-one interviews, especially in person, I'm always selfishly like, what can I get from this?
Yeah.
What knowledge can I steal from you? What great story can I personally hear?
That's interesting, how it changes, and you have so much good fan interaction. I think it's so cool when you're posting the reels of the questions a fan has asked too.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother element, like that fan seeing themselves on your platform. Like it's awesome.
There's a lot of times when a fan asks a question at the Q&A where I'm like, I wish I had asked that. That's a really good question.
And I think you've had really good guests too for that, like someone like R3 who can just bounce off, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And like my next one's with Chelsea Green. Yeah. I won't even have to say anything. I'll just sit there.
Exactly.
And she'll just take the show.
She'll
It's
run
amazing.
the room. Yeah.
It's amazing.
No, I can't wait. That's the day before Survivor Series, right?
That's right, yeah.
All right, awesome. No, can't wait for that one. We're also in a wild time of wrestling in general right now. Big night on Monday, John Cena's final Raw at MSG. Overall so far, what have you thought about the retirement run?
What I think is so unique about it is we've never in the history of wrestling been like, this person is having a retirement tour that they're going to stick to.
Yeah.
It's going to start in January. It's going to end in December. You've got these 36 dates, and that's it. I thought John Cena was going to go out and play the greatest hits. I thought he was just going to go out. We were going to see the 5-knuckle shuffle, the AA, and he would just face his favorite opponents, and that would be it. I thought it'd be kind of like when Derek Jeter had his final season, or Kobe. Like he comes to the city, everybody goes, oh, it's their last time in New York or St. Louis or Cleveland or Toronto. You got to be there to see it. They really threw us a curveball on March 1st at Elimination Chamber in Toronto with that heel turn. The heel turn, amazing. The heel run, that's a different conversation. I think there were some opportunities there that maybe weren't capitalized on. They could have been. But Jonah, man, the last 2-ish months, I'd say actually since the face turn again, SummerSlam, hearing that song and watching John Cena run to the ring has been like so nostalgic. And then watching the count go from 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 5, 6 to 5 dates left, and now we're sitting here with 3 dates left. By the time you post this, probably 2 dates left. Like, crazy.
I'm getting chills like thinking about it. And yeah, like I know some people kind of criticized how the face turn, like turning back to face, came about. But that promo he cut the night before, I think it was SummerSlam, right, to face Cody, was awesome. Like I thought that was just so pure, super Cena that I grew up with, that we all saw, take us on this journey.
But I appreciate that he pushed himself, right? Because it would have been so easy to just do what we were expecting him to do.
Yeah.
He took a chance, and I think the heel turn we saw this year was the heel turn that he originally imagined when he was going to turn heel in 2012. But man, how can you not appreciate John Cena? And that's what these dates have allowed us to do.
Absolutely. In a perfect world, because we have the Last Time Is Now tournament going on right now. We don't know, there's one mystery guest, I believe, on Monday night, Raw facing Solo Sikoa. But in a perfect world, who would you want to see as his last opponent, whether they're in the tournament or not?
What's interesting about the tournament is they've got to have 4 matches. They've got to win 4 matches to then face John Cena, which then makes it interesting, like if you're going to have someone like Chris Jericho or Edge, like some of the big names that are being thrown out there. I love the idea of it, but you're telling me they've got to now debut for an opening round match, then have a quarterfinal match, then have a semifinal match, then have a final match, then face John Cena? Like, if it was just like we're going to pick an opponent, it's going to happen, I would love to see The Rock one more time.
So would I.
Like, if The Rock was active and the storyline made sense, they're 1-1 right now. It'd be really cool to cap off that trilogy. I don't really think it makes sense where The Rock's at with his career right now, and I don't know if the final boss facing John Cena in this iteration makes sense, but that's a match that I would have loved to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you think it would have worked at like a Saturday night's main event too?
I think John Cena's final match is going to work anywhere. You could put John Cena in the middle. There's a ring right there.
There is.
You could put John Cena's final match right here, and
people would come to see it.
Of course. It doesn't matter if it's on a Saturday, a Sunday, a Monday, a Friday. It's John Cena's final match.
Yeah, no, he definitely will bring the people. You've said that he's probably your favorite interview you've ever had. It was John Cena.
Probably.
What was it that made those talks so special?
John Cena is so incredibly present and in the moment. And it's such a skill that many of us are lacking. And I have to
increasingly so, even maybe.
I have to remind myself actually quite often about like just being in the moment and being present. And he's just so gracious with his time, most importantly. That's the one commodity we'll never get back. It's the one irreplaceable thing. But he's also like really gracious with his wisdom. Like his answers are so thought out. And like the last interview I did with him, I was asking him things all over his career. He's giving me these thoughtful answers, these deep stories. Like I can't believe the answer he gave me about his heel turn. Which ended up kind of being the heel turn that we ended up seeing. Like, kind of. He was talking about like, we were gonna have a new song, and I was gonna wear singlets, and it's like, I'm sitting there like, what?
Like this is a scoop, like this is crazy.
Tell me more, John Cena. And then in that interview specifically, did it the other time I interviewed him too, but.
Get on it.
Midian's
Godwin
walking
should
by.
join,
Wow. I get to take a picture with you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to stand up for this.
Right here.
Wow.
Bashing Booger and.
Wow. I can't believe this is happening.
Take it, yeah. Oh yeah, please,
wow.
Lauren, take that picture.
Thank you. Your girlfriend's so kind to take this photo.
This guy.
This guy.
I told him I wanted him to meet.
Take some this way.
Oh man.
Ansel Adams over here.
Cool. Great to meet you. Thank you so much. Always good to see you.
Boy here. You guys
Good to see you.
Who would have known that weekend we were there with Mark was the best weekend
Oh my
for
gosh.
the podcast, and
That was
it all went
unbelievable.
south.
No.
It
No.
ain't going to be as fun as it was. It wouldn't have me on his new show saying the things I said.
Well, he certainly wouldn't have me on his new show at all.
Don't even worry. This makes it so much better.
Why was I a guest on The Undertaker's podcast? That's
It was
mind
a great
blowing.
weekend. It was me, Chris,
Yeah.
Maven, and Godfather.
It's funny. That was a question I was going to ask. So we can get the story right now.
Crazy. Great to see you.
I love it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
You could never, yeah, absolutely. You could never know. I love Henry too. He's a former guest on the show.
Wow.
And every time we see each other, it's magic. But I love you can't have this over Zoom, right?
That's
Something
what I'm
like that
talking
could never
about.
happen
You know,
over
your
Zoom.
dog might run into a Zoom call, but
It's the
not
most-
this.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, so we were talking about John Cena, but you know, I got to ask you early on. I know you said that when you were doing these interviews at first, like you'd ask these kind of big questions to try to get answers that hadn't been told before. Like you were swinging
Yeah.
for the fences. Do you remember what some of those early on questions that made you really proud were in interviews?
How far back do you want to go here?
After the Bobby Lashley interview.
Okay, 2007, my first interview.
Yeah, after that, but some early ones that maybe you were like, okay, I'm getting a little polished. So maybe like 3 years in.
So like there was some like 2011, I did an early one with Jeff Hardy,
Okay.
and like he wasn't afraid to talk about like his arrests, and like it was pretty fresh at that point in time. And like my whole idea is like if you ask, the worst they can say is no, or I don't want to talk about that. And he was happy to share a story about that. So like that was one. I had Miz on right around that same time, 2011, after he had won Money in the Bank and cashed in. And like I asked him, like, what'd you do to celebrate? How did you celebrate that night after becoming the champion? He's like, well, it was like 11:30 at night, but nothing's really open. So we went to Denny's. I think it was Denny's. Like, so he just like ordered like eggs over my hammy. He's like, yeah. Sat there like, hey, congrats.
Championship worthy celebration right there.
There was an interview I did I think it was the first time I did an interview with John Cena in person. And I asked him about, like, you said these things about The Rock not being there every week because you were. Now you're that guy who's not there every week. What do you say, you know, how does that make you feel? And he's like, if I'm gonna be honest, like, I apologize. I apologize to Dwayne for saying those things. I was at a different point in my career. I now understand what he was doing. And like, I thought that was such a thoughtful answer, especially speaking about like where he was and now where he is now, like much more into the Hollywood life.
Oh, absolutely. That clip was so powerful to me, actually. I might have shown it to someone who doesn't really care that much about wrestling, but I thought I was like, this is so cool. Look at him apologize, like coming full circle. That was a powerful moment. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was one where I was just like, I was genuinely curious. Like, how can you say those things and stand on business at that point in time?
Yeah.
And then be doing the thing that you were just criticizing.
You know, sticking with The Rock there too, it's well documented you're a huge Rock fan. What was your headspace like the very first time you were going to interview with him? Because I think it's 10 now, right?
Not that I'm counting,
No,
I
who's
don't know,
counting?
10.
Why would you count something like that anyway? Yeah.
The first interview that I did with him, I always thought it'd be like, oh, he's promoting this movie, or I'm gonna get him in a movie junket for 3 or 4 minutes. I got him backstage at Monday Night Raw, and it was pretty cool to be there in the setting that I became a Rock fan at. So like, I'm not there promoting Pain and Gain or G.I. Joe or any of the other movies at that point in time. I was there because his upcoming match at WrestleMania 28 with John Cena was around the corner. So I got him for 6 or 7 minutes. It was pretty cool. I remember we were in this room backstage at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. It was called that at the time. And it was like me and 2 other like local news outlets, and we're all just kind of like, any point in time here, he's gonna walk in the door. Who's gonna go first? You wanna go first? No, Chris, why don't you go first? I'm like, okay, I'll go first. And he walked in the room and introduced himself to everybody. Hey, I'm Dwayne, nice to meet you. I'm Dwayne, good to meet you. Yes, we know who you are. Yeah.
So humble.
It was amazing. And now, fast forward all these years, I saw him at the Smashing Machine red carpet and then the after party, and he was like, hey, Chris, how are your kids? I'm like, what? That is mind-blowing.
That is. I've heard you say he's great memory, right? Like
Yeah.
he's a personable guy. Was that before or after you hit that picture-perfect rock bottom?
It was after that.
Oh, it was?
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Got to plug it.
I went for the spring up, just hoping it would work. Somehow it did.
Yeah, and did he comment on it? Did he see it at all, that rock
No,
bottom?
but if I ever get a longer interview with The Rock,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, could you rate this 1 to 10? Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to call The Rock out or anything, but that rock bottom that I did might be better than a lot of the rock bottoms he's been doing lately.
Interesting. And maybe Rock's last match is against CVV, not John Cena.
I'm just saying, he hasn't done the pop-up in like 20-something
he
years.
hasn't, and you hit that. That was perfect. A couple more questions here. You've recently been able to get some guests on that you've never had on the show. I think
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley. Who would you say is on your Mount Rushmore of interviews? That you've had today?
And thank you for doing your research on that. Mount Rushmore of who I haven't got?
No, of who you've had on. Like in
Oh,
the
of who I've
entirety.
had.
It's tough, I know.
That John Cena. I don't count The Rock because he hasn't like sat with me for a full length episode. Like the longest I've ever interviewed The Rock's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. So John Cena. Oh man, Mount Rushmore's are so hard. It's only 4. The one I did with AJ Styles earlier this year, that one meant a lot to me, and like it was cool. We were DMing and he's like, I don't really use DMs that often. Here's my number. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So now I'm
Yeah.
texting with him. And then I was texting with him and I was like, hey, what's the schedule look like? And I was driving in my car. I was about to park at Target and I got a phone call and it said AJ Styles. And I was like, hello. And he's like, oh, hey, Chris, it's AJ Styles. I'm like, yes, it is. Wow. So that was pretty cool. Like, and I chatted with him for like a while before that interview.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I saw you did an interview with Tom Cruise. I'm like, yeah. And he started like asking me about like
That's awesome.
my career. I'm a huge TNA fan. That is, I talk about that all the time. So that's 2. Man, this is so hard to narrow it down.
I know. And
The
there's
one-
only 4.
The Undertaker one I did last year.
Oh,
and like
that's
Midian
huge.
was kind of touching on it here. That was an amazing 2 days. So like I did the interview on Undertaker's podcast first.
Yeah.
So like I go to their studio, I meet him, and like my mind is blown that I'm on the Undertaker's podcast. Like when his co-host hit me up, Matt Lyda, and was like, we'd like to have you on the show. I'm like, me? He's like, yeah, would you want to? I'm like, of course I'd want to. Yes. So I go to the studio, do the interview with Undertaker. And then afterwards I said, all right, when do you want to do the interview with you? Should we do it here? Should I rent your studio space? Do it here? Should we do it at my hotel? He goes, why don't we do it at my house? I said, okay. He goes, yeah, take my number down. And here's my address. Here's the gate code so you can get in. When you get to the security, just tell them you're there to see the Callaways. They'll let you right back. What? He's like, yeah, no one will be there when you get there, but when you come up the driveway, you'll see my house on the left and then my gym's on the right. Just go right into the gym, start setting up. You can work out if you want. I'm like, what? This guy's amazing.
Yeah.
And then we sit down for the interview and I go, how long do we have here? He goes, you can talk till you get all the BS out of me. And I'm like, we talked for almost 2 hours.
Yeah. That was an amazing interview.
And then we went to dinner after that. And it was a dinner at a steakhouse not far from his house. And it was, like Midian said, me, Midian, Godfather, Maven, Undertaker, and then a few of our friends. Jamil was there as well. And then the restaurant closed. And then we just stayed for another, 2 hours. And he's just holding court, telling stories. Like at one point gets to the middle of the table and tells a story that I could never repeat here.
You could only imagine.
And like, I got to the point where they're like putting the chairs up and like sweeping under the table. And he's like, I guess we should head out. All right. Left them a very nice tip and then we left.
Of course.
Amazing. Just amazing.
Imagine telling Chris of 10 years ago that like
Imagine telling Chris a year ago.
a year ago.
Like, I can't believe that. So that's 3, right?
So yeah, AJ, Cena, Undertaker.
And then I don't know. Give me one.
Which one did I really enjoy? On the spot, it's tough. It's probably, why don't you, an audible, call a friend.
I love the
Which one did he say?
The Will Ospreay one.
Oh, the Will Ospreay one, yeah.
YouTube demonetized it because he swore too much.
Oh, that was a myth.
Immediately.
That's crazy.
No, that is true.
That's
You
crazy.
have 18 plus to watch that interview.
You know which one I really liked recently was Spike Dudley. I love this.
yeah.
I'm a huge ECW guy, and I feel like we've never really. We did a virtual one with Spike a while ago. I
Yeah,
remember, but,
yeah,
like,
thank you for remembering
Truly hearing his story in person was awesome.
I'll give you a deep cut to round out the 4, and this doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the other interviews, but this is the tough thing about a Mount Rushmore is you can only pick 4. The one I did with Steve Blackman.
Oh yeah.
Like he hadn't done an interview in something like 17 years. And for like a mutual friend of mine to be like, I think I could make that happen. And then I got a random Facebook message that was like from a Steve Blackman account that said, are you trying to do an interview with me? And I said, like, yes, is this the real Steve Blackman? And he's like, what's your number? I'm gonna give you a call. And I'm like, this doesn't seem real. And then he called me and immediately I was like, oh, that is Steve Blackman.
That's awesome.
So like, it's one thing to do an interview with someone who is like an easy yes, I will say.
Yeah.
Steve Blackman is like, it's not easy to do it. Although I will say this, if you call Blackman bail bonds, he answers the phone.
There you go. A little tip for all of us content
Blackman
creators
bail
out there.
bonds. You can be like, is that Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. What jail are you in right now?
I actually just want a Zoom interview with you, sir.
I was at his house maybe 20 minutes setting up the cameras and everything. He probably answered like 10 calls. Blackman bail bonds. No, we just bailed him out earlier today. Yeah, Smith you're calling about? Yep, they're bailed out. Okay, thank you.
It's amazing.
What a hustler. And then he had to put his phone away. It was still on vibrate. You can't hear it, but it probably rang 30, 40 times during that interview.
Wow.
He has a great bail bondsman business.
That was an impressive one. I can't wait to see what other rare ones you get done as the years come.
I've got some deep, if I can ever get a Stacy Keebler interview.
Have you not interviewed?
I don't think she does interviews.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's and Hardcore Holly. I feel like they are the great white whales.
Yeah, there was like a Twitter account of Hardcore Holly that just opened up that was going viral, but I think someone debunked it as fake.
Yes,
I don't know
apparently
for
that's
sure.
not real.
Did you DM that?
No, but apparently he lives in a cabin in the mountains somewhere and just loves life.
One day, maybe we'll track him down. One final question. So this is a blind ranking. We're getting the Mount Rushmore in the blind ranking.
Oh no.
I want you to rank these 5 Rock movies.
Okay. Blind.
Blind rank these 5 Rock movies. Now, these are ones that I picked that I've seen. There are others out there I haven't seen, like the Fast and Furious franchise, so they're not included.
You haven't seen any of them?
No, never seen them.
Wow, start with 5.
Start with 5? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start with Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy. 5.
5. Race to Witch Mountain.
1 or 2?
1.
4.
Game Plan.
Wow, that's also not great. You're
Chris, we have different opinions on movies.
You're taking from that era of rock movies is before I think he really started to find his own.
True.
Because there was a big difference between, I will call it, pre-G.I. Joe 2 Fast and Furious Pain and Gain, like the movies before that and the movies after that. And there's actually a great story Rock's told about like changing agencies and like becoming like The Rock. Like he had lost a lot of weight for the movies that we're talking about here.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Game Plan 3.
Scorpion King.
Oh my gosh, 5.
5 again.
2, I guess.
I'm giving you the most softest ball in history here, the Smashing Machine.
Oh, there we go.
There we go, yeah.
That is number 1, and that definitely is The Rock's best performance by far. I think my favorite Rock movie, not in your 5 here, my favorite Rock movie is The Rundown.
I knew it would, yeah, I know. I didn't include that one in there, but
early on. Pain and Gain as well. Like if we're doing just top 5 Rock movies, Smash the Machine, Rundown, Pain and Gain. I don't want to give the other 2 because then what about this movie?
Yeah. This was a very specific type of rock list.
Very clearly.
The 2000s rock movies. But Chris, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Keep up the great work. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I watched some of your interviews to research for mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I'm like, I can't ask that now. Jonah already asked it.
It means a lot. You gave me my handle here when I introduced now R3 Jonah. I think when I saw you in LA, I was like, Jonah with Rewind Recap Relive, R3, your mouthful. You were like, R3 Jonah, come on.
R3 Jonah.
Easy. Thank you, Chris.
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Recap Relive. Woo! It's what the world is watching.